He's a marriage counselor and he has worked on a lot of divorce cases. So he'll come and tell us a little bit about that and more from the law perspective. What does the law say? Is it easily accessible? Is the law easily accessible for persons who go through these abusive relationships and everything? Please put your hands together for Barrister Vitalis until he says stop. About abusive relationships first.
What the law says
abusive
about
relationship,
it.
what the law says about it, and how they can go through it.
Actually, abusive relationships are on the increase, especially because of the COVID moments when a lot of people were forced to stay together. It is very easy when you don't see each other. When you see each other, you miss each other. We must be very frank and direct. No one, you should never allow anyone to lay their hands on you. We have had a lot of cases where women die, mostly women though. When we talk of gender-based violence, even though it goes both ways, but focus should be on women because they are those who suffer that the most. However, if you feel that you are in an abusive relationship, it is always good to contact someone that you look up to talk to, discuss with you. Excuse me, and if your partner persists in the abuse, you should, of course, meet an attorney or go to the state law office. So far in Cameroon, we still have a lot of challenges approaching the courts or the legal department or the police or any law enforcement agency to lay complaints about abusive relationships. One day I was at Moliko police station when a lady came in to complain that the boyfriend slapped her. And the ladies, there were some old ladies, old police officers there. They were just saying, "Now don't go fox the established monster, you can't complain." Say that, you know how often when my master did beat me. Those are not excuses. Like I said, those things that used to be very normal in the days, they are not the same anymore. Nowadays, we go through a lot of challenges. In the past, we used to have only men who work. Now, some women work way more than men. So you not expect that what used to be in the past should maintain. Of course, as ladies, you have to respect yourself as well. This question came up about what should be expected in a relationship. I've always insisted, even to my partners, that from day one, you should discuss on what you expect in a relationship. Most ladies will tell you that no, the man will change, the man will change. Men actually hardly change, except maybe they fall sick and you show them excessive love and so on. So basically, you have to discuss on what you expect in that relationship. And of course, my brother was very correct. Unlike him, I even say love does not exist. I feel that a relationship is built on tolerance. And what you tolerate, you might think is love. Because what attracted you to somebody 1, 2, 3 years down the relationship, that same thing is not going to be there. What is going to sustain that relationship is tolerance. So basically, we have had a lot of cases. Abusive relationship is not only abuse on you. We have had cases where you are married to these guys, when you are not around, they forcefully have sex with your kid sisters. And it is very common now in Boya. So those are, and sometimes we even had a case where the family was trying to cover it up. And when the matter got to the father left right from the northwest and came and took the matter up. Even though at some point they also tried to withdraw it. So basically, let us guard against those bad behaviors. It is very common for people to say, no, that is how men are. You have to try to accommodate them. Nobody is there to... Marriage is not a rehabilitation center. Women go through a lot. Taking care of kids, taking care of the home, and things like that. So we should compliment them. If a guy is abusive towards you, if a guy is abusive towards your relatives, if a guy is misbehaving around the house, you should always have the option to go to the state council or to meet any human rights attorney or most of the human rights activists to assist you. But I always advise that before you go ahead with those complaints, it is good to first of all meet somebody that you look up to. It could be your priest, it could be some big brother that you look up to, it could even be the host of a talk show. In that way, we'll be able to And of course, we have to break the culture of silence. That is what is encouraging men to be so abusive towards women. And if a guy sent you to school or bought you a phone and so on, of course, we are not saying you should not be appreciative, but you should not die because you want to be appreciative towards somebody. Thank you. We can welcome questions.
Thank you very much. Please.
Like you said, if I see my neighbor is going through pain, I have to help my neighbor, like reporting to the law as you're saying. If it happens that like us women we use word at times that we're not supposed to use them. Like if she's my friend, she discovered that my husband is like going out with somebody else. She tells me about it. Why communicating with my husband? I can get angry and use a slang and call her name. And when I call her name, definitely my husband has to know that she's the one that said it to me. Him knowing that she's the one that reported it to me, he will need to have a problem with her. Even if, no matter how it is, he will have a problem with her. Like when she was telling me, she would be like, let me not identify to my husband that she is the one that told me. But because of anger, I will be forced to inform my husband that she is the one that informed me about it. So because that my husband will definitely have problems with her. So how can we try?
What is wrong with your problem if your husband has problems with her? No, how is she? Like even this gender-based violence thing or abusive relationships, before you actually report to a third party or to the law enforcement agencies, you must first of all try to reach out to them, isn't it? And whichever way you go about it, there will be some, as long as it was not a lie though. But of course, she's not just going to come straight to you and say your husband is cheating. That's not how it works. For us men, when our married friends are cheating, we try first of all to warn them to do this. We have a broad code. But when you cross the red line, a friend could say they will hardly actually report, but they can make it in a way that the information will get to you without going through them. But that's not actually the kind of issues that we should be addressing as gender-based violence or abusive relationship. That's cheating. And in as much as it's a very bad thing, but those are peculiar circumstances. Not everybody is going to divorce their wives because they cheated. Our parents were even very, very pro with those things. Like when your dad dies, you are expecting that maybe Mr. A is going to be the successor, or your uncle dies, you are expecting that A is going to be the successor. You see, they come and give successorship to some very local, quiet guy. And then when you want to dig in the family, they tell you that no, 3 or 4 of those kids were not his kids. But they lived with it. It was never an issue. The children would not know that, address it in their room and in their, maybe the village secret setting. And what is discussed there stays there. But it's no longer the same because immediately that topic comes out, even you erroneously post on your status that some men are just snitch. Or maybe when you go and reconcile with your husband or your boyfriend, you say no Lucifer can separate us. So the person who reported the matter to you becomes a Lucifer. But for those who know me, what I feel I say. So, but everybody cannot be like that though. Yeah. What I want to say is, before a matter gets to court or before parties resort to separation, there must have been some high-level exhibition of violence in the union. People don't just get up and say they want to divorce. Of course, you can just get up and come and say, okay, my husband, especially for, I'm sorry, I'm not targeting a particular, especially for ladies who get married to internet businessmen. Most times, their husband goes out, drinks, comes back the next morning. Sometimes they drink, they don't even come home. They can say there's a program in Douala or Yaoundé. The guy just goes. And then the lady, out of anger, they are used to that. They break TV, they break things. And the man comes home, beat them up, and they come to you. Those kind of cases, you don't take them up immediately. Because the reaction of that lady was because of the action of the guy. And after 2-3 days, you realize that they come back naturally because before they married them, it's almost the same life that they had been living. So basically, when a matter comes to you for divorce, generally, our judicial system does not support divorce in the first place. When a matter comes to divorce, when parties come to you for divorce, when you go to court, the court does not grant divorce. What the court does is they give you what is known as a decree of judicial separation. Once they give you 6 weeks, the divorce proceedings itself could take maybe 3 months. And then when the court hears the matter, they give you 6 weeks again to see if there's a possibility of you guys reconciling. And the court always insists that before you file a petition for divorce, you have to prepare a document which is known as certificate of reconciliation to show that you have attempted to reconcile the parties. So it is left to your individual ingenuity to decide at what level the matter will go. Of course, some parties just come and you know that this one is straight divorce. Especially those ones that a guy, a 50-year-old man has come to Moliko and seen an 18-year-old girl and he's even wearing the girl's pants. Those ones, there is nothing you can do. It is only when that girl, that small girl is going to break his heart or do something that he will realize that he's on the wrong track. That one, there is very few of them. They always come back to you. Sometimes they go back to their divorced wives. And then by that time, they must have gone through the divorce process. And then the girl has really done something awful. That's when they will come back to you.
Just they say if you stay with a lady for 6 months, the law calls that marriage. I don't know how true it is.
You know, that one is Roger in Monaco. But there's no such law. That one is for these guys who like how we stay. They use that as justification. Even when you are married to a lady traditionally, if the guy dies, you have your own. So if you have your husband who is married to you traditionally, try as much as you can to use kayamata. Kayamata is not some fetish thing. Cook, bow, clean for him to go and sign. It's very necessary.
Traditional marriage is not
It's recognized, but it is almost Norway. Yes. Even at the American embassy now. In Gambia, for my Fulani brother, Muslims have been able to force their traditional marriages to be recognized by the American embassy and most European countries. But the difference there is, it is very easy to get it. For white weddings, for civil status registry marriages, you must go through the procedure. And once you marry through the civil status system, you can only divorce to be separate. But for Muslim marriages, you just need to get up one day and say, I divorce you. When you say that 3 times, it's over.
What?
Yes. Yes, please. Before you can fire.
Consent divorce whereby 2 parties are doing is a court very, very sweet in granting.
Yes, and I support that one. You see, the trends are changing. There are some people that if you leave them in the same house for 2-3 hours, they'll kill each other. So the best thing to, I've been frowning, our NGO actually, we have written to the Justice Minister to change the restrictions on divorce. What I enjoy about divorce is if you divorce your wife, you can later remarry. There are some points that reconciliation is impossible. And when you force people, I was opportunity to study in South Africa, and I realized that their legal system is stupid, just like the American legal system. In South Africa, it's even worse. First of all, to marry a woman in South Africa, you have to give like 10 cows, 50 pigs, and so on. Now, if a lady comes to the house and just say you laid a hand on her, don't even slap. This thing that you can be playing with your husband here or your boyfriend and they just touch you. Immediately they call the police. You don't touch anything in your house, they just come and pick you and take you out. Of course, Cameroonians are yet to actually understand the implications of gender-based violence because our justice system, our law enforcement officers have not been trained to tackle issues like that. That's why here you can go and complain. They say, no, you'll not be sleeping. When you go and complain, especially against a Yahoo boy, they say, no, you be buying phone. We went there one time with a case, I was for the lady. And then the girl showed, at this judicial police, I will not call the commissioner's name. There was a lady. The lady removed an iPhone 12 and said the guy is the one paying for her house. She was putting on Brazilian hair and things like that. And the commissioner said, Chai, Masakan did my small sister here. So it shows you how, Our sister, but the lady was fed up. She was willing to let all those things go to have her peace. Because when these guys want to abuse you, they can actually beat you to them. So when they beat you the first time, the second time, and maybe they touch somewhere in your abdomen or somewhere where it really touches you and you go to the hospital, maybe you have internal bleeding, you will not want to continue that. I don't even understand why you can allow a guy to touch you. Once they touch you, you say they will change. Tomorrow they touch you, you say they will change. That's how the culture develops. The first time you can say, never you do that again. Most times they will stop it.
I'm glad that we learned something. I guess everybody has learned something. Nobody should go the same way they came. That's the main objective. Big thank you to the panelists. Big thank you to Barrister Vitalis. I reached out to him yesterday, and he's here today. I'm so lucky. I'm so grateful.